Hi, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's your favorite trans woman, Ash here. Today is a horrible day for civil liberties and rights for trans people and non-binary people. I just had a list of executive orders that went through today. Well, will go through today after 12 noon Eastern, and I'm gonna break it down by by one by one. Here, I have time. I don't have to get my bus until 10 and everything because I'm gonna get my hair cut and maybe get something to eat while I'm at Walmart, assuming I still have food stamps. The executive order establishes government wide the biological reality of two sex, except that's not a biological reality because you're forgetting intersex people, which means this executive order already discriminates against people from the word go and clearly defines male and female. Okay, except it's a spectrum, it's not binary. All radical gender ideology, guidance, communication, policies, and forms are removed. Well, that's just fucking great. That's all that can be said about that part. Agencies will cease pretending that men can be women and women can be men when enforcing laws that protect against sex discrimination. Except that goes against Title IX in the Supreme Court ruling Bostock. Of course, this being a Republican Congress, Republican President, Republican Supreme Court, that's not going to matter. Woman means adult human female. Okay, now define female. The executive order directs the government's identification, like passports and personal records, will reflect biological reality and not self-assessed gender identity. That means I can't get my passport, which means I can't leave the United States of America effective today. The executive order ends the practice of housing men in women's prisons and the taxpayer funded transition for male prisoners. Except they're not male, they're women. The executive order ends the forced recitation of preferred pronouns, except no one's forcing you to use them. It's just called apparently human decency to a Trump supporter is forced. I'm telling you what it says there. These are executive orders written by the Trump team. This is the first thing they start with, and I'm not done. And and statutory rights to recognize the biological and binary nature of sex, except sex isn't a binary. I can. I'm gonna Google. Sorry, I got off camera there. I'm not very good at. According to Scientific America, sex is a spectrum means that biological sex is not simply a binary of male and female, but rather a continuum with variations in sex characteristics like chromosomes, hormones, and genitalia, where individuals can fall somewhere along this range, including those with intersex traits that don't fit neatly into either category. Essentially, there is a range of biological sex beyond the typical male and female classifications. Key points of the concept. Pardon me. The existence of people with intersex conditions where their biological sex characteristics don't align with typical male or female definitions is often cited as evidence for a sex spectrum. Different levels of hormones and chromosomal variations can contribute to a spectrum of sex characteristics. While sex is often discussed as a spectrum, gender identity is also considered a spectrum and is separate from biological sex as it relates to a person's social and psychological sense of their own gender. So basically the Trump administration is discriminating. Now here's the thing. Genuinely and honestly, guys, here's the thing. All those cis allies that claim that they're there for trans people, the time to act is now. Because Trump will be sworn in at 12 noon. It'll, the swearing in itself will only take a couple of minutes, but the whole pomp and circumstance of it will take hours. But the time to act, the time to show that you're an ally to me and to other trans people is now. And, I don't want to tell people what to do. I don't want to berate people. I don't want people feeling like they're lesser because they can't somehow physically help. All I can say is that if you live in a state with an attorney general who's a Democrat, write to him or her. Tell them that you want them to fight this executive order, because executive orders can be fought in court. Write to your state representative, assuming they're Democrat. Even if they're Republican, write to them. Let them know that you, their constituent, don't like this executive order. Most importantly, please, peoples of the earth, please attend carefully. The biggest thing you can do for an ally or for a trans person or non-binary person right now, because they will be targeted as well. Gender fluid people will be targeted. Two-spirit, everyone that non-gender or agender people will be targeted. There will be no protection against the federal government. State governments are different. State governments are governments by government. Josh Shapiro and the Democrats in Pennsylvania, for example, respect my right to be called a woman. My state ID says that I'm a woman. My social security number would also have the gender marker until 12 noon today, saying that I'm a female. Do you see how the conflict's going to happen? My name is changed. I'm no longer my dead name. I'm Ash Ranzetti now. Unfortunately, I did have a brother who supported Donald Trump. My brother is now dead to me, and I will never associate with him again. And I know my parents aren't going to like that. I don't give a damn. He's dead to me. He could be lying on the ground in front of me dying. Wouldn't do a thing to help him. Genuinely would not do a thing to help him. All I can say is if you're trans and non-binary and gender fluid and everything that falls under the spectrum, stay safe, stay healthy, keep fighting for your rights. I'll be there right there with you, both in person and in spirit. We can't give up for the next 4 years. I'm going to end this video now because I don't really have much more to say, except I love you, you're valid, and I'm always here.